You're now tuned into pSyk's weekly Nerf dosage.
Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome to episode 116 of PWND. This episode is about a mod that quite a few of you have asked me about before, and that is none other than the expanded plunger tube Retaliator mod. Now, I'll just show you guys the Retaliator in question that I have in my hand, and there's no way for you to tell if it's a standard plunger tube or if it's an expanded plunger tube.
Well, I guess you can look from the slot on the side over here that you can see a white lip and then an orange area after that. So that's how the tube is right now. Trying to show you guys from the underneath. Not sure if you guys can see that, but yeah, okay, there we go. It's a white lip and then you can see the orange expanded long shot plunger tube. Alright, so that's what it looks like.
Also, if you guys are wondering what all this neon yellow 3D printed stuff are, they're all kits from F10555, and this is an exclusive color available for me. Of course, you guys are able to get it in different colors. There's blue, white, grey. If I'm not wrong, there's grey. Black, I'm not so sure. But if you guys are interested in getting the metallic blue color, and I'm talking about this metallic blue color, it's not just standard blue, it's metallic blue. As you guys can see, it's actually kind of really shiny when the light hits it. So if you guys are interested in getting this color, the only way to get this color is if you purchase it through none other than Newbie. So only with Newbie is this blue available. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to get the yellow. Okay, but yeah, I want to say a big thank you to F10555 for actually providing me with this awesome crazy yellow color. I love it. It's my favorite 3D printed filament color ever since I received the crazy gem door color from if I'm not wrong, it was Jiayi. Yeah. So now I'm gonna just show you guys how this mod is supposed to be done. I did have some help from amazing people like Gavin and of course from Roboman, so it really helped me to lessen a lot of the workload just because they provided stuff that I could just immediately use that was natively, going to accept the long shot plunger tube size. But you guys will roughly get the gist of what you're supposed to do for the mod, so I hope that you guys enjoy this part of the video. Check it out.
As you can see, we have the shell of a Retaliator already open up, guys, and I apologize because I actually filmed myself going through some of the steps that I was taking to get this mod done, but then the footage got kind of corrupted, so I'm not able to use it. But I decided that, you guys are smart enough. I'm just gonna walk through with you guys what I've done so far for the expanded plunger tube mod for the Retaliator. Now, first thing of all, you need a donor plunger tube, and for this particular version that I'm doing, I'm actually using a long shot plunger tube. I'll show you guys what it looks like in a short while, but the most important thing that you guys need to do to the shell is you need to cut out this whole area, because all these ridges were actually holding in the Retaliator's stock plunger tube, and that's like the original size. Now, depending on the size of the plunger tube that you're using, you're gonna have to shave off respective amount of the shell. Now for this, it's a long shot plunger tube, because the long shot plunger tube is perfectly nice to fit in between just this wall and the other wall of the Retaliator, so it's kind of like maxed out space. Alright, so we're gonna make a cut all the way down here, get all this ribs and ridges out. We're gonna make another cut here, and the thing about performing a expanded plunger tube mod is that you have to sacrifice at least one screw port. Now, some people actually mod theirs to sacrifice two. You don't need to sacrifice two screw ports, you just need to sacrifice one. Alright, I remember the previous one that I did, I sacrificed this screw port instead of this, but then I decided after speaking to Gavin about it that actually this screw port is a lot better, because you can still hold this one in place, and the end cap will actually hold the shell together at the back. So yeah, this is safer. Alright, so it's gonna be from this wall where the catch plate actually sits in, all the way to this wall where I just took cue from the start of this particular screw port, as you guys can see. So from the screw port down all the way here, and then how deep or how far down to cut these two ridges, basically just test fit all the way with your long shot plunger tube. So speaking about the plunger tube, yes, of course you have to do the same thing for the other side. Sorry, forgot to mention that. But of course, the plunger tube now, as you guys can see, it's kind of like a hybrid plunger tube already. This is from a Retaliator plunger tube, and the rest of it is a long shot plunger tube. Now, what I did with the Retaliator plunger tube was basically just cut down from right here, where it's the wall. I also maintain the wall. I think you guys can barely see the white ring. That's where the wall is. So the wall, I shaved this down, this nub over here, and that's basically it. Then I got the long shot plunger tube, cut it down, and for the front I shaved off the lip, and then I expanded the slot here just so that this Retaliator plunger tube lip was gonna slip right through, and mine is kind of like a snug fit. So then I've already epoxied it down on the inside, but it's a snug fit, as you guys can see. I just didn't want like too wide a gap, so that I could make sure that it stays centered. And then I got rid of the original nub that would slot into, as you guys can see, that will slot into the long shot shell. And I also, oh wow, there's like a bird outside my window, what the hell. And I also got rid of some of the ridges over here to make it flat now. If you guys are wondering how long the length is, basically I won't go by measurement because you guys want to fit this in. So actually it's this part of the tube has to sit here. Alright, and then at the back here goes all the way to your wall. Now if you notice, I'm trying to get the right light, guys, sorry. Okay, to the wall here, if you notice I have some give. That is completely optional. You can have it resting up against this wall all the way, but I did this because I wanted to make everything flat. So that's the reason why I have this much of a space. This total space over here is less than half a centimeter. This is about 3 millimeters, so it's really just negligible. You guys can just have it snap fit all the way. It's really, just trial and error. So the next thing that you're gonna have to do is either, and I'm very blessed, is that you basically need to either get Roboman's one-piece metal Retaliator bolt sled, which is already cut very nicely. As you guys can see, there's a little curve over here that will fit a long shot plunger tube. You guys can see, so there's some space. You actually can use a slightly wider plunger tube, but having a wider plunger tube than the long shot would mean that you have to get rid of even more of the shell, which is basically cutting the whole part open. So yeah, this long shot bolt sled is perfect, because if you're using a stock bolt sled, or if you're using Orange Modworks or another bolt sled, then you're gonna have to cut this part. Either you're gonna chop this part off, or you have to Dremel this part down and have some give for the long shot plunger tube, as you guys can see. Alright, in my previous mod I didn't use this. I used I think it was a 30mm, I think, PVC tube, and I still had to shave that down. Last but not least is the plunger rod itself. Now you guys can see that it's like, mine's like kind of nice. It's because this piece over here is an adapter piece that was printed by it's a 3D printed piece that was printed by Gavinfuzzy Customs. He actually has a picture of it on his page. You guys can check it out. I don't know if he has it for sale, but I made a special request because I've always been buying stuff from him, and he was kind enough and he printed one for me. So I paid for it, but it was really cheap, and basically it just sits on the top of a Retaliator plunger head, and then I just epoxied everything down, as you guys can see. So yeah, it's gonna work. If not, then alternatively you can also use a standard long shot plunger head, and then you can drill it down or screw it down. You can also use your own homemade kind of plunger head with a seal, but you have to make sure that you get the right measurements though, because you want it to sit at the end of the plunger tube like that, and when you push the bolt sled back, it has to go all the way far enough so that it can catch. So this is actually where I'm just about to test fit everything, because the epoxy now on this is cured and the epoxy on the inside is cured. If everything goes fine, I'm going to epoxy the outside as well. So this is my test fit time. So what's going to happen is, okay, if you guys are using Gavin's adapter, then you're going to make sure that on the inside, when everything's in place, you have to make sure that this goes into the slot like that. Okay, it has to sit inside the slot, not push outside. That's his measurement. If you guys are using your own version of the plunger head, then you have to measure from there, whether it's sitting outside or not. Just make sure that it goes far enough. So here we go, test fit time. And I have these two pegs because I'm actually using the shotgun grip for this particular Retaliator, and this is going to help me also with measuring that. So just make sure everything goes like that, sits in nicely, and then I'm gonna put everything into the shell like that. Okay, so tube is in place, bolt sled's in place. Now when I push it forward, or when I pull it forward, I need to make sure that the O-ring is on the inside of this part is sitting here. It doesn't come out. So let me see if I can get the brightness down a little bit. It looks a bit bright. Okay, so I hope that will work. But yeah, the O-ring is right there, right smack in the middle, so I'm not going to lose any air seal when I close the breech. Alright, so I'm going to try and push it all the way back, and I need to make sure that the catch notch goes past the catch slot area. So let's try that out. Yep, it goes past the catch notch area, as you can see. That's perfect, and it goes, and this bolt set goes far enough so that it doesn't push the white plunger tube back, because if you have it, you know, pressed up against it too hard, then you might kind of undo and it might break this this gluing area, this adhesive area of the, you know, between the orange long shot plunger tube and the Retaliator plunger tube. So yeah, this is perfect, and it goes far enough that this guy doesn't really drop out at all. So this is pretty perfect, as you guys can see, all the way front. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for the next level of testing, which is to add back my catch plate. Sorry, let me get my catch plate, and then close up the shell and see if it catches. Now the thing about my catch plate is that my catch plate has this bad behavior where it will slot into this part and stay here. So when I pull up the shell and open up the shell again, it might just stick here, but then we're just gonna inspect and see whether or not it got caught in the first place. Okay, it catches. What am I talking about? So yeah, okay, here we go. It's closed up. As you guys can see, it's perfectly fine now. No gaps and everything. So that's how it should be when you close it up. Have this spot set all the way to the front. Now let's just try and prime it all the way back. I need to hear that catch sound. I can feel some resistance when I reach this point already. Okay, that's a catch sound, so that's perfect. That's really good. That's good news. I'm gonna try and remove it, and let's see if it's, you know, it's already on the oh, perfect. As you guys can see, it's already nicely sitting behind the catch plate, so everything is perfect. The plunger rod itself is catching nicely, and that's basically how you perform the expanded plunger tube mod for the Retaliator. I'm lucky, like I said. Shout outs to Roboman because I have one of these beautiful bolt sleds, and shout out to Gavin for that beautiful adapter piece. This thing's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna continue and put everything back, lube up everything, you know, the usual, and I'm gonna have myself a very beautiful, wonderfully working, awesome expanded plunger tube Retaliator. Peace.
Welcome back. Now, you guys already know I was lucky, and Gavin actually provided me with a converter piece to convert the Retaliator plunger rod into a bigger face so that it would fit the long shot plunger tube, as well as Roboman, who actually provided, or actually Roboman who actually sold me a aluminium bolt sled that was able to accept long shot size plunger tubes or bigger. And you guys can see that it's already powder coated red, and it's a really amazing red. I don't even know what it is. It looks gold from a certain angle and it looks red, so it's just really amazing. Reminds me of my old iPhone 4 cover, and I love these kind of iridescent touches. It's like red and gold at the same time. It's just awesome metallic red. So yeah, if you guys don't have access to this, you can find alternatives to doing this, like for example, like I said in the video, cutting off the long shot plunger head, attaching it on, or finding some way to make a homemade plunger head, as well as chopping off or shaving the back of the original bolt sled off, or any third-party bolt sled if you guys are going for it. So there are ways to actually go ahead and perform this mod. The next thing I would say is this is not a completed mod yet by far, because I still want to make it a brass breech. There's no point in you going for this kind of a mod if you're not going to upgrade the breech. Currently my breech is a stock breech, so I have the AR still intact, but that's because I was making sure that everything's going to work. And as you guys can hear, I got a crazy spring load on this baby because it's an expanded plunger tube. You want to maximize all the performance that you can get. So dry fire, as you can hear, it's crazy, although you still get the air cushion at the end because of the ARs that are still intact. It does perform pretty well. It performs way better than all of my other Retaliators at this point of time, and I know it's going to be even crazier once I make it into a brass breech. But basically this is how you perform the expanded plunger tube mod for the Retaliator. I'm going to take this opportunity and also talk to you a little bit about the external cosmetic kits on this Retaliator itself. On the back over here is a 3D printed stock from F10555. These, you can actually find the molded version from Worker, but they are actually 3D printed versions from F10555 himself, and you can get them in all his 3D printed colors. They are modeled off the Electro Storm Super Soaker stock, and these are really awesome stocks, as you guys can see. Pretty good length, really solid, really sturdy, and I like it a lot. This is a RIS barrel, RIS barrel, and it comes in many configurations. You can choose to have either Picatinny rails on the top and the bottom and the sides, or you can choose Nerf rails. Now, in order for you to actually do this whole thing with a flat rail on top, you have to purchase the Nerf rails for the top and bottom first, then get the full length rail on top, so that everything will be flush. Because if you get just the Picatinny rails for the top, then it's not going to be flush like that. So please take note when you guys are purchasing this, okay? I also am using 2 Picatinny rails on the side, as well as a what we call a low profile shotgun grip, also from F10555. As you guys can see over here, the grip or the attachment point itself is also 3D printed. It has nice little covers over here, and I attached a vertical grip, as you know. Yeah, let me just. Okay, I can't do this in my right hand, I can only do it with my left. So there we go, vertical grip, so it looks like that. Pretty awesome, sweet. Okay, also I got a M4 iron sight attachment, as well as a muzzle piece attachment. And on the inside, if you guys notice, is a black tube all the way. This is the Worker black tube. This item is just really for cosmetics. It's the same measurements as a stock Nerf orange colored tube. So I just replaced the orange one with a black one because it would look strange with the orange running inside a yellow color barrel. Yeah, and this is just a random foldable grip. Yep, this is all the external kit. It's really crazy. I really love this neon yellow look, so I picked a Gen 2 Retaliator shell, because Gen 2 Retaliator shells are more or less one solid color, as you guys can tell, except for this side. So I don't know why, but Hasbro decided to go for, I guess, cost savings kind of a thing when they went for Gen 2 Retaliators with less paint, or Elite Blasters with less paint. Alright, so I hope that you guys learned something from this video. I know it's a bit difficult, but you guys, you actually kind of need to understand quite a lot about modding before you actually go ahead and attempt this mod, because you need to grind down the shell. There is some room for errors, but there's very little. So, it's not gonna be a nice sight if you screw up and you don't know how to fix it. Okay, so make sure that you actually have a certain level of skill first before you try to perform this mod. But if you're daring and or you have the skill level already, just go ahead, don't be afraid, and do this mod. This is amazing. And I don't know if Gavin is able to sell you guys any of the conversion pieces for the plunger rod, but you can, I guess, ask him and check it out. I mean, won't hurt anyone, right? Yeah, the only downside is that you need to sacrifice a long shot plunger tube. Okay, if not, then you can just find PVC that would be of the same measurements. And you guys already know the first expanded plunger tube conversion that I made was out of a PVC tube. So if that works, this works, then it's not gonna be a problem, right? So thanks once again for watching all the way through, guys. Oh yes, this is like a, I forgot what brand this is. This is a laser marker that has a switch that's like that. Okay, let me just show you guys. So here we go. So when you flick it up, turn it on, and you push it down, it goes off. So I could, I guess, if I'm actually using the marker, just reach forward, push it up, turn it on, push forward, push it down, something like that. So this is really just for fun, really just for cosmetics. But I just wanted to also show you guys that yes, these rails all fit. They're all perfectly aligned for attachment pieces, and all these are all just LaRue indexing clips, and I just thought that adding that pink over there would make it extra sweet. So we come to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way throughout. I know it's a very technical video. I hope that you guys, get a lot of information. And if you do have a question, just ask me in the comments. You know that I reply. So ask me in the comments, and if I'm able to help you, I will. Okay, so I hope to see more of these conversion mods or these expanded plunger tube mods being done. The first one I did was quite some time back. After that, I saw Gavin actually do it, and I'm doing it. Okay, the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because, I know that Explorer actually sells these thing called the UX Red. I don't know what UX stands for, Ultimate Explorer Retaliator. But you guys don't have to drop a bomb. You know what I mean? It's gonna cost you like what, 200 something just for a freaking expanded plunger tube and shit. And you get a crappy bolt sled, by the way. But look at this. This is amazing. And it's it's gonna cost you way less than what Explorer will charge you. So just go ahead, learn how to do the mod, and mod it. Trust me and believe me, the sense of satisfaction you get out of this is gonna be way more than just buying a kit and dropping everything in. Alright? Take my word for it. So to the next episode, guys. Thank you so much for sticking all the way throughout. Once again, always for your support. And if you like this video, I hope you guys give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I hope that you guys consider subscribing to my channel. Stay tuned. Alright? Drills pay the bills and teamwork makes the dream work. Peace!